What's up guys, it's Pyrex, and today I'm going to show you guys a project me and my friends have been working on called Bonkerlands. Its primary purpose is to run the PC text mods from Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel on PS3. First thing we're going to do is go through the install. In the download you're going to get this Bonkerlands release files RAR, and first thing to do is just extract it somewhere. And once we have that, we can open it, go into this Bonkerlands release file folder. Keep in mind you do need either a jailbroken PS3 for this or a hen console. And you're going to need a FTP connection to your PS3, or you could do this through USB. I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, FTP is probably the way to go. And I'm just going to do that with my File Explorer real quick. You can use FileZilla or something like that. And yeah, the first thing we're going to do is install the actual menu and where the mods go for each game. Those go in dev hdd0 and then tmp. You just drag this entire Bonkerlands folder into the tmp folder, and that's all we're going to do there for now. The next thing is installing the eBoot. The only versions of the game I've tested this with, because they're the only ones I own, for Borderlands 2 is BLES 01684, and for the pre-sequel it's BLUS 31445. I'm not sure how much that matters since I haven't tested the other ones, but I guess we'll find out over time. That probably mainly only matters for people on hen, because the eBoot and the SPRX are signed together and they have to match the region of the game you're on. But yeah, that's what there is for that. To install it, I'm on Dex. I'm going to go into the Dex eBoots and go in game on my PS3, and for Borderlands 2 it's this one, 01684. We'll go into user.dir. There's our eBoot right there. So we'll go back into our Bonkerlands files, grab our eBoot, and replace it. It's that simple for the eBoot install, and we'll go back and do it for pre-sequel, which we go back into the game folder, go in here, go in user.dir, there's our eBoot again. We'll grab our eBoot, put it in there, replace it. For hen, I just have a label for what eBoot, what the region is for the eBoot. You don't need to copy that, you can just leave it there. And to install mods that you want to run, like community patch or something, anything, well, almost anything, we'll get to that later. You go back to TMP into the Bonkerlands folder, and then there are these two folders, BL2 and BL TPS. The mods for the respective game go in each folder. So I have some Borderlands 2 mods here that I was messing with. We'll drag those in, wait for those to copy. And then we'll do the same for the pre-sequel. The folder opens. There we go. Copy those. And yeah, that's the whole install for Bonkerlands. You can make and manage the mods the same way you do as PC, just using BLCMM. And you just, yeah, you manage all your stuff. You really only want to run one mod file, so if you want multiple things, you want to combine them all into one file and run it like that. Some of the restrictions that we have here on PS3 is that there is a 20 megabyte limit on the size of your mod file. It's just one of the limits that we have here on PS3. Can't really get around that. Well, there is a way to get around it, but it's very difficult, and I have not figured that out yet, so maybe a future update. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. And really big files take a while to run. Like this pre-sequel randomizer takes, when you click the button in game, like 20-30 seconds the screen freezes. But it does work. You do need all the DLC for it to work properly, the same as it is on PC. But that's where the real problems start. Because for the pre-sequel, everything's fine, all the DLC is there. But on Borderlands 2, the Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary DLC doesn't exist. So that kind of breaks a lot of the compatibility with mods. I noticed mainly with the community patch, probably happens with other mods too, I just didn't look that closely. Changes for like weapons and stuff like that, in-game behavior, enemies, that stuff still seems to work, but I didn't see any of the skill changes working, and some of the other stuff around there, I'm not super sure why it happens, but it's just one of the things we have to work with, because I don't think we're getting around that problem. And the other problem for Borderlands 2 is all of the randomizers that I've found are just too big. The super randomizer mod is like 161 megabytes, and the old CE randomizer that I found that was still just a text mod is still like 40, which I tried to do, but I just couldn't get away with it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff to do with the patches. There are some other functions in the menu that I added. Like, I put God mode and save and load location, just because there's some things that I figured that would be useful. Along with quit without saving and freezing time. There's instant kill, which just sets your weapon damage, just because I got tired of wasting time killing things working on this. You know how it is. Player speed, same thing. There is a console command option, which lets you do anything you could do in the console command on PC. As far as I'm aware, there's a limit of 40 characters in the string, but that's about it. Then the only other options in there are you can give yourself some golden keys and badass rank, just because they were easy things I found. And there's switching the camera, toggling the HUD, setting your FOV, and showing FPS. Those are all just console commands, but I use them often enough that I figured they deserve their own spot in the menu. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for waiting so long after I initially showed them off, not realizing how many roadblocks I'd run into along the way. But yeah, thanks. Bye.